I went to 42 South to pick up some coffee with my friends, and I ended up almost getting attacked in the street by a homeless person with a katana. And so what I did was I teleported behind him and stabbed him with my Masamune, instantly killing him, and then immediately teleporting into the Dunkin' Donuts to pick up my order that took 30 minutes to complete.
Dun dun dun! I wanted to see if I was clipping at all. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Cameron's back with me here, and he's got a story for you. And while he tells you this story, tells us the story, I'm going to eat another donut.
Okay. So,
a strawberry filled, by the way. It was supposed to be a strawberry frosted donut, and I ended up with a strawberry filled with icing filled donut.
I was put in what most would call an unforeseen circumstance. So what happened exactly was I thought the last episode was really good because we had donuts and coffee. So I thought, hey, let's give it a shot again. Now, I went to the Dunkin' Donuts that was 15 minutes away from us. And when I walk in, I'm walking up to the counter to see, like, I thought it was like a kiosk one where you can, like, check what you want, like, on the kiosk. And I'm at the counter looking at their menu, and it was, like, really zoomed out. So, like, imagine if you're, like, using Google Chrome, and it's, instead of it being at 100%, it's at, like, 50. So it's just clearly, like, zoomed out.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I couldn't read it. So the guy comes up to me, and he's like, hey, what do you want? Instead of what would you like? I was like... yeah, you know what? I don't really know right now. I'm just going to sit over here and just download the app. And he's like, I walk like 3 steps away. I hear him call me a fucking weirdo. I was like, okay.
Did he say that to somebody else? Or did he just say that
No, he was like looking.
to you?
I walked like 3 steps away. He wasn't saying it to anyone else. He was like just like working on something else. And I heard him call me a fucking weirdo. I was like, all right.
Who just muttered it to himself?
Yeah. And I was...
Fucking weirdo.
It's not my fault your menu's like so zoomed out you can't see the text or anything, but like whatever. So I'm on this Dunkin' app and I'm given I'm like checking like the selection out, and it's like, all right, Liam wants a strawberry frosted donut, and I'm gonna pick up 2 extra glazed as well and get one for myself. And I put the order in. And I'm like waiting. My mom called me too, and I'm just like waiting for like them to like put it at the mobile pickup station thing or whatever. I'm like waiting, and I wasted like 5 or 7 minutes, just like, okay, maybe they're like really busy.
You were there for a while because you called me to get the order right while you were there. And then by the time I was kind of expecting you to be here, you texted me, hey, I'm on my way over. And I was expecting you to be here by now.
Yeah. So
you were there for a long time.
I'm like, what's taking these guys so long? I don't even see my order on like the little pickup stand. You're supposed to like put those things in, like, they have a dedicated like holder for like drinks and like bags to put stuff on. And they didn't do that, so I walked up and I was like, hey, I gave the app a shot, and I did a mobile order. I'm 908. So, like, I don't really see it over there, so, like, is it being made? Or, like, they're like, oh, it's made. And they, like, go to the corner where you can barely see the stupid thing, and it's not, like, stationed where they drop it off. It was, like, behind it. And I didn't even hear my name get called or my order or anything.
It was just sitting over there.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
Kind of half hidden.
Yeah, and it was just my drink. It wasn't my donuts. So I pick up the drink, and I'm like, okay, so are the donuts ready? And they're like, no.
Okay, so maybe that's why they didn't call you.
I guess.
Yeah, right? I guess.
And then I'm like, okay, well, can we pick them up? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, can I get 2 strawberry frosted? Oh, we don't have those. And I was like, oh, really? Like,
I'm sorry. That is the most popular donut.
I know.
When you think of a donut, you think of, at least I do, it's, just a regular pink frosted donut, like from The Simpsons.
Yeah,
that donut
with like sprinkles. Yeah.
Yes,
like
that is the donut to have.
I know. And I was like, "Oh, you don't have them?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Okay." So can I get a? Well, I'm gonna stick.
He offered you nothing else. He was just
He just straight no, and I was like, "Okay." So I'm like, "All right." I guess I'm just gonna have to get the strawberry filled. I guess. And he's like, "Okay." And then I was like, "All right. So can I get like 3 glazed?" And he's like, "We don't have those either." And I was like, "No glazed?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay." This is where it gets fucking stupid. I'm like, "Hey, can I get the double chocolate frosted then?" I guess just 3 of those. And I see them like in a tray.
yeah, they're right behind the register.
Yeah, with the Tex double frosted chocolate. And he's staring. He turns around, stares directly at it, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't think we have those." I'm like, at this point, I knew. I was like, "No."
Oh man, something's going on here.
I was like, "No." I mean, I think it's like right there, like in the middle, where it says double frosted chocolate. And he's like, "Oh, you're right." Did he put it in the bag? And then I was like, "Oh, I gotta leave. This place is crazy."
Oh my god.
I pieced out, and I was like, that was the worst.
This donut is really good, by the way. So I'm fine. I'm happy that you got this. This is a worthy replacement.
Do you have it? No. like nothing. It's so like confused.
How do you not have the 2 most popular donuts?
Yeah, no glaze, no
It's
strawberry.
called Dunkin' Donuts.
No
That's
strawberry
like saying, it's like saying we don't have coffee.
Yeah, I'm really stupid.
Well, Dunkin' Donuts, you don't always get the same treatment. It's always different wherever you go.
I feel like the one I went to last time here near ShopRite was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were fast and they were like polite. the one I went to was just totally awful.
Yeah, it sounds like you should never go there again.
Yeah, I was coming here, and that was the first one I saw, and I was like, I'll stop here, I guess. And it was just not good.
What did they have there?
They had...
What did they just have?
Okay, they had strawberry filled. They had double chocolate, which they said they didn't have, even though it was directly in front of them.
Did they have the old-fashioned type donut?
No. They didn't even have old fashions. That's what I was confused, because if I didn't get it glazed, I was thinking about picking up an old fashioned, and they didn't even have those. And then I went, they had sour cream donuts.
Sour cream?
Yeah.
Donut?
Yeah. I saw that, and I was like...
In the goddamn?
I saw that, and I was like, oh, that sounds terrible.
What is the donut? Like, is it like a biscuit? Is it like a sour cream biscuit?
No,
with,
it looks like
bacon and stuff in it.
It looks like a glazed donut, but it's just called sour cream.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it was like, it was really bad.
It sounded like you entered some alternate universe Dunkin' Donuts where everything is terrible.
I think I was actually in hell.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know it.
You stepped into hell real quick, step right back out. How's that coffee?
It's okay.
Donut's great.
It is. That's good.
Yeah, I think I like this better.
That's good.
Actually, it is very good.
Good. It was quite a battle to pick those up.
It was worth all your trouble, I promise you.
It's like such a yeah, it was an interesting experience.
The Dunkin' I've been going to is the one it's on 322 by the entrance to the Jersey Turnpike. The one, I think it's the Turnpike. It's the one that goes south down to Delaware.
Okay.
It's at the Garden State Expressway.
Gotcha.
It's one of those two. I'll edit in which one it is.
The one I went to was the one coming into Washington Township.
Yeah, I'll try to avoid that one.
Yeah.
In the future.
The one you said is probably not the one I went to, because mine was like...
No, the one I've been going to is nice. It's by the entrance, like I said, to the expressway. The one that's next to 295, whatever that highway is. And it's a very no-nonsense place because it's one of the gas station ones. Mm-hmm. So it's like they get you in, they get you out real quick. You know, there's a lady that works there. She's real snappy. Yeah. And she's not happy to see you, but she's respectful.
She's curt.
She's and I have respect for that. So
That's good.
yeah, and my order's not a tall one, so it's easy.
Was it yeah, it was like a dedicated like drive-through Dunkin' Donuts, but they had like 12 parking spots in front of their place. Like I don't know.
How big was the lobby? Because you went inside, right?
Yeah, it was like 8 tables, I think.
Okay.
It
Was there anybody else in there that witnessed this thing happen?
there was like an old couple watching me while it was happening, and
Did you exchange any looks with them?
I gave the old guy like the Abraham Penny, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
he did like a head nod, and I was like, all right, I'm in the clear. I'm not the
Okay.
weird one.
They were on your side then.
Yeah, thank God. I was like, man, these guys are driving me nuts.
Well, one man's hell leads to another man's good show.
One man's hell leads to another podcast episode.
And there's more hell to come.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface. So you've been watching Voyager.
Yes. I saw episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 3 this morning, episode 2 last week. Episode 2 is called Parallax. And that is the one where... Can you run it back? Because I think you've been...
So I'm finishing my donut right now.
Sorry.
It's so good. I want to lick the plate, but I'm too polite to do that in front of other people, so I'm not going to do that.
You could just edit it in.
No, that's the thing I do by myself
No, I mean...
when no one's around.
You edit the sound of a plate licking.
Oh, I like that idea. Okay, I'll do that.
You find like dog.wave, and it's like it's a licking sound.
So I was just watching Parallax because waiting for you to come over. I was like, I'll watch a little bit of Voyager. I've been watching Enterprise a lot, obviously. Been texting you about that. But so in Parallax, I do remember the whole episode, but I only watched the beginning where Voyager sees they get caught up in this gravitational vortex thing. Not a black hole, but some type of gravitational anomaly. And then they see a reflection, or they see another ship, and they get a distress call from them. And they're trying to help out this other ship, and they do a bunch of stuff, and doesn't really work out. Meanwhile, all the ship's repair crews are all busy doing other stuff, and the doctor's holographic matrix has an issue, and he starts shrinking.
There's a frame.
So he's losing 5 centimeters every hour.
At the end of that episode, there's a really good frame of him. If you find it, that'd be funny to put in the thumbnail.
I'll scan through. I'll see if I can.
It's near the end. Paris is calling him, and he's like really small on a couch, but his face and body is like warped looking.
Yeah, it's really wide.
He's like stretched like this way, wide, and it's really funny looking.
It's so funny. And I said the Doctor's my favorite character, and excuse me, jelly burp. Just watching his introduction, just his talking to Kes and his overall attitude, and he's quoting ancient poetry, and he's got all this information. You know, you let some time go by, and then you see these characters again, and I love him even more now. And I understand his position more. Because of the way because, you know, Kim calls him, and he's kind of short with him. They don't really care about his issues in the beginning.
Yeah.
They just see him as a program rather than a person.
Yeah, he is kind of getting messed with a little bit.
Yeah. But back to the episode, this, and I didn't complete the episode, but from what I remember, the ship that they see ends up being a reflection of Voyager. And the distress call they received was just their own distress call mirrored back to them. But I don't remember how they got out of that mess.
I'm pretty sure Torres shot a beam into the fracture or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were going to use the tractor beam to do something.
And there was a part where Torres and Janeway had to figure out which was the right ship because one of the ships was like a hologram or something.
Or some type of
like a reflection, yeah. And you had to like figure out which one was the correct one, and if they didn't, they would like just get lost forever.
Yeah, he gets stuck in there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Torres and Carrie, are
The chief
fighting
engineer, yeah.
for chief engineer. Yeah, she punches him in the face in the beginning.
I didn't like that.
That's how the episode starts.
I don't think I like
Is
that.
him with a bloody nose.
Yeah. No, I was like, I don't like the archetype where like the genius is also like just beating people up. I don't know.
I don't see her as a genius type character, but
Yeah.
she's Klingon and Maquis.
Mm-hmm.
So, half Klingon.
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's not a good way to punch your way through your problems, but
Yeah, it's like she's the smartest person in the world, and then it's like, okay, she just made like a really dumb decision by knocking the chief engineer out.
well, it's funny because
Yeah.
she doesn't. When the captain eventually asks her about it and tries to get to know her for the first time, she doesn't even really care. I mean, she does care. She's got a big attitude, but she says she doesn't care about getting the position.
Yeah.
She doesn't even want to be there. She doesn't want to be in Starfleet. She left Starfleet Academy. She doesn't really want to be on the ship at all.
But she left under the guise of like, I'm smarter than all these people. I don't need to be here.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. A little bit. She was 2 years in, and she thought no one was on her side or something until one of her professors said that she was actually really good, but he didn't tell her. Like, he liked how, like, on it she was about, like, some of the subjects he was teaching. Like, she would always, like, question him on things. And that was, like, that's, like, cool, right? Like, you know, the student is trying to figure out why things are the way they are, and then, you know, shooting questions like that. But like, the professor actually liked it, but she thought he didn't like it at all. Well, it was that scene where they're in the ship talking to Janeway, Janeway and Torres.
She definitely has a chip on her shoulder
Yeah, like
and a point to prove.
I'm kind of like not into the chief engineer also. Like at near the episode,
Carrie?
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, you know, these things happen, I guess. And it's like, dude, if I was a chief engineer, like, if the person that hit you, right, and is a total, like, jerk to you, right, like, if her, like, 3 days later, or him, 3 days later was like, oh, you know what, I'm totally sorry, you're not gonna be like, oh, yeah, you know what, things were pretty messed up. Like, no, you're gonna be like, yeah, cool, dude. All right, later. Like, you're not gonna like you would try not to work with them.
Try to avoid them at all costs.
Like even if you're on like the complete other side of the galaxy, you would try to find a way to not work with them. And it's like, I thought that was kind of not like, you know, I thought that was kind of stupid. So
you do have this Starfleet versus Maquis thing going on, and the captain and Chakotay are fighting as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously he knows his crew and how to utilize them. And he's more direct than Starfleet's way more bureaucratic than the Maquis. And the Maquis, you just, you need something done, you do it.
Yeah.
I'm not praising the Maquis. They're, a rebellion type organization. I don't really know much about the Maquis, whether they do good deeds or bad, but way more direct. There's no Starfleet red tape to tie anything up, right?
I guess.
So I texted Cameron last night and I said, I will stake my professional career on these words. The Star Trek Enterprise theme song is the best theme song in all of Star Trek.
It's a Bruce Springsteen song, kind of. Like a little bit. I was telling Liam, like, this is a good song to like put on your Spotify playlist when you're mowing the lawn and you're 50.
Oh man, I find the song inspirational.
No, it's really good. I like it. I think Next Gen is a little bit better though.
Yeah, Next Gen is more classic. It's more Star Trek, I feel. It's more canon.
Yeah.
Whereas Enterprise is at this way different time where they're in an experimental stage of Star Trek. So, but yeah, I love the song. And they end up changing the song halfway through the series, and they add some, I think they add a little bit more percussion to the song, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same exact song, but there's like, I think there's like more kick drum in it. I don't know. I'll have to watch and compare. Yeah, they changed the intro of the show slightly. So I think they add some titling and they change the song a little bit. Yeah, that's what I've been watching, Enterprise. I watched the whole first season recently. I'm in the second season now.
Damn, I'm only on episode 3 of season 1. Well, I just completed episode 3, but I'm starting to like Janeway a little bit more. I don't know why.
So when I turned on Voyager today,
Yeah.
as soon as I heard her voice doing her log, I thought of what you said about the woman from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, Yzma?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does sound like she sounds like Yzma a little bit, but I'm starting to like her a little bit. Even at first I was like, man, this lady, like episode 1 and episode 3, she already almost breaks the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, man, this is like a terrible commander. But like at the same time, like I do like seeing like that scenario roll out. So I'm starting to not mind it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. The Prime Directive, and I will try not to talk too much about Enterprise because you haven't watched that, have you? Or have you?
No, not the Scott Bakula one.
Okay.
No.
So the Prime Directive doesn't exist in Enterprise, so they have to make it up as they go along based on just their own morals. There's no Federation, there's no Prime Directive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's from a dramatic standpoint, it's sort of there to be broken or to be contended with, rather.
Okay.
So it makes sense. It's okay that, the fact that Janeway breaks the Prime Directive often, and the same could be said about Picard, makes the show interesting.
It does, yeah.
It leads to some very interesting, because like going back to our first talk about this with Justice, this is a question of like, what do we do based on our law?
Yeah.
How should we break our law? Is it worth it to help these people? If we break the Prime Directive and we save 2 million people, is it worth it? Where do we draw the line?
Yeah. And
So-
this is under the guise if they don't have warp, right? It's all warp is the thing that is like
Yes.
the line. Yeah.
That's the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Starfleet has no problem studying pre-warp civilizations in secret.
I guess. Yeah. Like
They did that in one of the movies. Which one was it?
they also did what's that episode where they're hiding in the crater?
Insurrection is the movie I'm thinking of. Hiding in the Crater.
Was that DS9 or
I'm not sure.
I remember like someone walked into the crater and they're like, "Oh shit." And then they like freaked out.
In Insurrection, they're wearing like these cloaking suits. And in the beginning of the movie, Commander Data, something goes, he gets a wire crossed or something, he starts going crazy. And he starts taking off his invisible suit. So he's just a floating head running through a village.
That's interesting.
I think it's Insurrection. I might have that wrong, but I'll edit in the correct name if...
Harry Potter episode 1 took that from Insurrection probably.
Yeah.
When Harry Potter put on the I know I'm a millennial, I'm bringing up Harry Potter. But
No,
like,
Harry Potter came first, actually. That was written first.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
well,
the books are written first. Yeah, for sure. Before those movies are made, yeah.
was it
The first Harry Potter book came out in the 90s,
Oh,
late 90s.
okay.
So,
Nice.
yeah, Harry Potter hasn't beat.
Man. It's millennial like trigger like
What do you think about...
yeah, it's like Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. It is very... I've caught myself saying that a few times. Although I was late to the Harry Potter game. I did not read Harry Potter as a kid.
Oh, I did.
I read Harry Potter as an adult.
I went on their website. They have a website called Pottermore or something.
Uh-huh.
And I took the test to see what school I would be placed in based on like my personality, and I got put in Slytherin.
I got put in Slytherin too, twice. I've taken it twice.
I was like, man, fuck Hogwarts. Like,
I'll find another magical school.
I was pissed. I wanted to be a Gryffindor, but like,
Yeah, I figured I would be Gryffindor, but that's probably everybody wants to be.
I was like,
You want to be in Harry's,
yeah, hanging with Harry.
yeah. Although, Harry was also supposed to be Slytherin, so
Yeah,
it's all right.
they do have a cooler chamber. I will say that. Slytherin.
Yeah, I don't like Slytherin.
I don't either, but they have a cooler chamber. Like
They do have a certain coolness to them, yeah. Yeah, that's true. And it's not as traditional as the Gryffindor.
Yeah, the foyer that they usually walk to, and then their like bedroom or whatever. Mm-hmm. The foyer is like kind of cooler looking,
Yeah.
I think. But they are inherently untrust
Yeah.
untrustworthy evil people. So I don't know.
What do you think about, speaking of trustworthy people, what do you think about Mr. Neelix?
I don't mind him. I feel like he would drive people crazy. I don't mind him though.
Cam, you're batting 1,000. You really are with this show.
Really?
Yes.
Jeez.
I like Neelix. I do. There was an actor, so the same actor that plays Neelix, Ethan Phillips, played a Ferengi in Enterprise. And I barely noticed him through the makeup, but I heard his voice.
I think there's something cool about like an untrust, and I'm not speaking correctly. Sorry, I'm still trying to process the Dunkin' Donuts thing.
You're still rattled from that experience.
But I like Neelix a little bit. He I could see how he pisses off like people, just because he's a goofy, wacky character. But he does care about the Okampa person, which is cool. Cass. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool when he tricked Janeway.
Refresh my memory.
In episode 1, he's
that when they first find him in that salvage field.
yeah, and then he's doing the water trade, and he just like blows the negotiation midway.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I thought that was,
with the Kazon. Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool. But like I could see, like, maybe I don't know yet, but like I think like, is he kind of like Jar Jar Binks a little bit in episode 1, or like?
Let me ask, does he strike you like the kind of character that's going to stick around for the entire show?
Yes. I think so.
Oh, I can't wait for you to watch more of the show.
I'm saying yes because
I'll just stay up and watch like a whole season in one sitting, and I won't sleep. So that's kind of how I got where I am in Enterprise. I don't expect you to do the same thing.
I've been doing that with Baldur's Gate 3 because I'm trying to just get better at the game.
Please don't tell me anything about it, because Mitch got way past me, and he tries to tell me stuff, and I'm like, stop. I think you're probably past me at this point. So
I'm at the dead end of Act 2. Yeah.
Okay. I'm at the Gauntlet of Shar. So
I just got done that.
Yeah.
So
don't tell me anything.
Okay. I won't.
So speaking of Baldur's Gate, I started playing Divinity Original Sin 2, which is a way too long of a title for a name. Larian, please, I'm glad you learned. But it's the game Larian made before Baldur's Gate. I think it came out in 2017, 18, something like that.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi game, right?
I wouldn't call it sci-fi. I would say it's also D&D-esque. But it's different, but it's very good. And that's been my new obsession. I've kind of stopped progressing through Baldur's Gate 3, and I've started playing this earlier game to sort of get the bigger picture. I'm really impressed with Larian's games.
No, they're really good. The mechanics are down. Like,
yes.
Well,
yeah.
I think some of the facial animations for dialoguing are kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it, but I really like the overall progression. I'll say this, it has very good pace. I think it has really I think it's a little rough when you're playing with 4 other dudes sometimes.
Real people?
Yeah.
Like it's easier solo.
Yeah. Like
yeah, I would agree.
But like
maybe none of us are experienced.
I think if we do like one lap, like play one game on
and
like
then
normal or attack, we'd
probably be better. Yeah.
But
because if people are still trying to learn the game while you're trying to progress, it's sort of like,
well, once you learn,
you up.
Yeah, once you learn how to play, you can like split from your party and like just do like collecting of like random crap.
Yeah,
and like if you're a sleight of hand type guy, like you can just go into a chamber, just disarm everything while the rest of the party's doing something.
Yeah.
So,
and the origin characters are awesome. Mm-hmm. I want to beat the game the first time in honor mode. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. That's what I've been trying to do. And I love, so my honor mode playthrough right now is Bard, Human, and then I have all origin characters. So I have like one custom character, and then, like Asterion starts out with, I think if you give him those gloves of power that you get in the beginning, he's like +7 or +8 on every lockpick,
I think
no matter what.
I think the rogue class is good, but like late game it falls off. It's really good at the start, but like
I'm not sure. I haven't made it to late game.
I'd say like N2, 3, start of Act 3 is late, kind of. But Sorcerer, I think is the most overpowered class in the game right now.
Yeah, from seeing how I think Mitch was a sorcerer when we were playing before. Yeah,
You can do this.
Or was that you as a sorcerer?
I played Umlaut the Deceiver, and
that's right.
and then and then when we played with Mitch, I played a half-orc paladin.
Right.
So I think Sorcerer is the most OP because you have an ability called Quicken Dispel, and pretty much what that does is if you spend 3 sorcery points, you can spend an action point in the guise of a bonus action. So there's a spell called Fireball, which is really powerful. It's like a level 3. It's pretty much like a nuke. Like it's a radius. Like if anyone is in this ring, anyone within it gets hit with like 35 plus damage, like 40. That's what I've experienced at least. So I've been doing this thing lately where if I'm going into a boss fight, I put my sorcerer up first. I literally like nuke. I Zerg rush the boss. I'll nuke him, do like 80 damage, and then make like a Asterion try to do his sneak attack move.
Yeah.
And then finish him off, and then get like Lae'zel and like Shadowheart to tackle the ads. And that's been working for me lately.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to play through the game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like you can do that battle 100 different ways.
Like
my favorite ones are where my first time doing the Goblin camp on honor mode. I was a hot summer day. My apartment was sweltering hot. My computer was hot. I was sweating.
Yeah.
Stressed out because I was pushed to my absolute limit, out of items. Everyone was dead except I think I made it out of there with one person alive. And that's including the ogres. They all died too. That was fucking tough. And that was the best kind of battle because I thought the whole time I was going to die. But I didn't. Barely.
I think
Just barely made it.
you said you're playing Bard right now in your one playthrough.
Yeah, in my honor mode playthrough, like the furthest I've gone, I have Bard, which is fantastic, and then Lae'zel, Shadowheart, Asterion.
I heard Bard. I think there's like a thing called a Sword Bard or something.
Yeah, so there's like schools of study, so you could do the School of Swords or the School of Books, and I think there's a third.
I think Swords is the best because by default you get. I think eventually you get like 2 action.
I've heard
points.
Bard is OP as well. In my experience, I've had very good luck as a Bard. So, because you can basically turn it, if you do the swords thing, you can turn it into a battle mage very easily because you start out with spells. They're Bard spells. They're not sorcerer spells, but you still get like, what's the one? Circle of Daggers. That thing, Cloud of Daggers, I think it's called.
The most.
That'll divide a map very quickly. That one.
That'll also, that and Gaseous Cloud Kill or whatever. If you're with a neutral party and they walk through it, guess what? Your entire playthrough is fucked. And they turn on you.
Yeah.
And you die immediately.
Yeah.
I remember I had Cloud of Daggers up in I think Act 2 once in my current playthrough, and like I think one of the main characters walked through it and she's like, well, they clearly don't like you anymore. The narrator says that. I'm like, well, why'd they walk through it then? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that's
those little things happen sometimes.
That spell was happening when we were playing. Like I would cast Cloud of Daggers and people would just walk through it, and then then it cuts to the cutscene and the narrator's like, oh, someone's not appreciating you hurting them, and it's like, well,
I'm hoping they add something where you can break concentration whenever you want.
You can, but Cloud of Daggers isn't a concentration thing.
Oh, it's not? You just have to wait for the time to go away? Oh.
If you go to your character portrait, like underneath it, there's like an X.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
I didn't know
like
that.
if you have a Sleet Storm, Sleet Storm is a really good crowd control ability. So there's a giant ring. It's huge. And if you cast it, sleet comes down from the sky and hits the opponents. But the main reason why you do that is because if you find a choke point, you can make bad guys. You can. Usually, what I do in one fight, at least, was I cast Ray of Frost onto one of the guys to get aggro, and then I took a speed potion, ran really far away behind a choke point, jumped over like a cliff to keep myself like a safe distance so that they have to jump to use an action to attack me with the rest of my party already there. I cast Sleet Storm, and the only way for them to get to me is to walk through this thing, and like they'll slip on it, go prone.
Yeah, you made a little funnel there.
Yeah,
death funnel.
And it's I think Sorcerer though is probably the most.
I've never played as one. I don't know. I've only seen others do it.
It's really powerful, like late game. I think it starts off kind of slow. Like you get Twin Spell, which is cool, I guess, but like no.
I had some problems starting off as a mage. I think my first character I tried to go mage.
Like a wizard or?
Just a wizard, yeah. And I had some problems early on. So I'm guessing there's probably a bit of a curve to it. Level 1 wizard's probably pretty... I
think wizard's kind of tough because like if you're just starting the game, the sell about the wizard is like the amount of spells you can use.
Yeah, and you really don't have that many when you start off.
As a wizard? Really?
I don't really know. I mean, you don't have very good spells, at least. Level 1 spells kind of suck.
Yeah, but like the fact that you have this huge selection and you can only use like some of them.
Yeah.
Like I usually
at least you can change your spell book around as a wizard.
Yeah,
with I don't know if bards can do that. I know clerics can do that. There are some that can and some that can't. Some of them you have to wait until you level up to change your spells.
Yeah. I guess I get option paralysis sometimes. Like I want to try to find the best spell and then just use that. I think usually like the best advice for Baldur's Gate is to choose whatever you want, but like I don't know.
You're going to play through the game multiple times, so
you will. Yeah.
Especially if you're doing honor mode, you're going to go through that tutorial again and again and again. Hundreds of times.
I'm thinking about
get used to it.
I like playing like mage characters kind of, but I'm thinking about making my next character either a warlock. They're releasing a new patch where the warlock is actually a close ranged character. You have you can generate like this energy weapon or something, or you have a weapon already but you curse it and you can
like a bound sword.
Something like that, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And I want to try that out. And I want to do that while having Will in the party, because my current party right now is Astarion, Lae'zel, and Shadowheart. My next one's going to be Will, Karlach, and Gale, just to get the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
I want to do that and make Will a Gunlock. Gunlock is pretty much when you put all your points into buffing your charisma and Eldritch Blast.
Oh, yeah, I've done that before.
Eldritch Blast, I think, acts in the same way as Magic Missile, but it's like one shot, but it does like so much damage.
So there are 2 feats that give it extra damage, and there's another feat that gives it pushing power. So if you level up Will in a certain way, you can upgrade your Eldritch Blast to an insane level. And it's a cantrip. It doesn't even cost a spell slot.
Yeah.
So you can just shoot those all day long.
That's sick.
Yeah.
When the new patch comes out, I'm going to be playing the new Warlock class. I'm going to make Will a Gunlock. Karlach, there's a new subclass called Giant. And pretty much what happens is your Barbarian gets twice in size. And your thing to do is to run up the guys and pick them up and throw them at the other bad guys to do damage or something.
I love it.
So you can use like if you get, I think
amazing.
I think you get a improvised buff if you find like a random object like a table like on the floor and you can just use that as a weapon.
So what's great about the goblins in the beginning is if you have Lae'zel or Karlach in your party, you can throw them around.
Yeah.
So like in that first battle at the gate, there's a couple goblins up on top of a hill, and you can pick them up and throw them at other goblins and do some damage. And there's like a ring of flinging you can get that upgrades your damage, but to have a giant class where that's all you do is throw stuff around, sounds fantastic.
Yeah. And for Gale, I don't know what I'm going to do for him, so... Yeah.
I'll probably still be playing Divinity Original Sin 2. There's no jump in that game, which is a little annoying. But the engine seems to be the same. It's still the drop down. And things are different. It is similar in complexity. It's more simple in certain ways, but it's just as good.
Okay.
It's just as good so far. You know, as far as like richness of the story, and the graphics look amazing. And you also start off on a beach, which I think is funny. Yeah, you start off on a crashed ship, so it's
another crashed ship, huh?
Yeah, but it's different enough.
Okay,
it is.
Yeah. Did you see episode? Do you want to talk about episode 3 of Voyager?
I have not watched it recently, but tell me about it, and it might come back to me.
Okay, so the plot is Voyager finds this planet that's generated by like biometric ions or something. I forgot what I might have the name wrong. We'll just call it biometric like ions.
It sounds like normal enough Star Trek
like,
technobabble.
Like that or like bionic something. So like this
Bionicles.
Yeah, this planet
ruled by
this planet is ruled and powered by bionical energy, and they're gonna make a movie where they don't make the characters sound cool and ancient, but make them sound like California surfboarders. Moving on. When you were a kid, right? So I'm going to stick with Bionicles for now.
I had Bionicle.
Yeah, when you had a Bionicle, you look at them and you'd see that you'd think they would be like this. From the ancient times, I went through these quests and did these things. And then the movie came out and it was like, whoa, Jake, better watch out. And it's like, it's stuff like that. It's like, oh, all right, well.
They had a video game for the PlayStation 2. Really? And it was that ancient experience. I'm having flashbacks of the game right now, flying through the green forest, the redwoods, like Star Wars, as a green masked Bionicle with wings.
Was it cool?
This was a game.
Was it good?
Yeah,
it was really good.
It's a big part of my childhood that I completely forgot.
we should do that thing that I made like a demo tape recently trying to explain how to.
That was really good.
Really?
Yeah, the way you edited that together, I could see you doing like, this is how you do Python or whatever, doing some type of tutorial.
Yeah.
Where you had the camera placement and everything. It was great.
Nice.
Top notch.
The camera battery died.
Oh, that was really funny.
And my hands freezed like that. So I'm like...
It's just a freeze frame. The camera battery died.
And I've been listening to Silent Hill 2 music a lot. So I just threw in like the most calming track in there.
It was fantastic.
But I want to try, maybe we should do that for this Bionicle game where you're remote into my computer and we play this PS2 game from like.
So would we both have control of the computer?
Yeah.
Is that the idea? So we have one game running and we're talking over Discord, but we can both control the computer.
Yes, you remote into my computer using Parsec, and then when you're using your keyboard and mouse like me, it acts as one controller.
Okay, but we'll have two sets. We'll each have our own.
Yeah, you'll be at your place, right? I'll be at mine. We'll be talking through Discord. I want to figure out how to like set Discord up or something. Like I know it's like the big communication like application right now, but like Discord's weird. Like I hear it has like some of the like craziest people in there that like just post like insane like forum level like stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like a really good, I think it's like a really good application though. Like the way it's set up, it's apparently the thing that, Microsoft carbon copied into Microsoft Teams.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Funny.
But like the app itself has like a lot of like, if it's not moderated well, you'll get people in your server or whatever. They're like absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like, I know where you live. Here's your street address.
Oh, great.
So, I mean, as long as it's like a private server, that's what I want at least.
From what I've seen from servers I've joined, and I'm not a heavy Discord guy, but there's certain things.
Yeah, me neither.
There's certain Discord servers. It's usually YouTubers. It's like, hey, if you want to join our Discord where we're talking about, conspiracy theories about Bigfoot, you join that and you see a bunch of people talking.
That's cool. But like,
yeah, I agree with you. The moderation, as long as it's a server that's maintained.
Yeah, and you actually have to like pay people to like moderate it.
Like
that, like dudes that chill home and just.
That's their job.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, if you have that much of a big audience, right? Like, yeah, you probably have to have a guy that just chills and watches that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did for like video games back in the day, at least like old MMOs.
Yeah.
Like Warcraft.
Yeah. RuneScape.
Or RuneScape.
Saw that M by somebody's name. You're like, ooh, it's a mod.
It's like, whoa. Hey,
dude, tricked out with a cape and a party hat on.
Hey, you want to be friends? It's that's what I did when I was 12. I walked up to a mod and I'm like, hey, you want to hang out? And then he's like, no. I was like, what? Okay.
I had one of my first cultural experiences on RuneScape, and it taught me about humanity at a very young age.
RuneScape is amazing. So
yeah, I saw it's a very short story, kind of like stories in the Bible. It's very similar. I was walking around Lumbridge and I left and I saw a guy and I was just typing things into the keyboard because I thought it was funny. And I was noting people's names and I saw the name of one particular character, which blew my mind. His name was Poopstain69.
Hell yeah.
And that
I know a fart pre-69.
that I got a glimpse of the internet in one moment as a child, and it's basically the same thing today to me. That's what people do on the internet.
Yeah, they just yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the more things change, the more things stay the same type of idea. I don't ever forget it. And that person is out there right now, probably has a normal life, normal job, moved on. Maybe he still maybe he checks into RuneScape once every 5 years. He's like, oh shit, what's going on with the Poop Stand account? And he
it's still alive.
It's still alive, yeah. And he thinks about it sometimes, and maybe he doesn't think about me. Maybe he doesn't think about that guy named Liam S10 outside of Lumbridge fumbling around RuneScape for the first time, but I think about him. Probably like once a year I think about that.
Poop Stain 69. I saw a video of a guy, like Final Click, level 99 videos in RuneScape. Like,
yeah. Jeremy's been sending me stuff because he got his couple of 99s recently.
Yeah,
He got his wood cutting.
Oh,
got his cape.
Nice. I saw a video of a guy in like a warehouse, who had like an Acer monitor connected to his laptop, and like the video is like in this dude's like office, but then like you see these giant you see a forklift like going into the office, sticking like the whatever those things are called out.
The forks?
Yeah, the forks, and he's raising it and then about to lower it onto the left click mouse button, and then when he does it, the guy gets 99 agility.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, wow, that's sick. Yeah.
Well, that's really funny.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like RuneScape a lot. I really like the quests in that game.
That was one of my first games.
Yeah, I started playing that game because my computer back then couldn't run Warcraft.
Yeah, probably same situation with me. I didn't even know about World of Warcraft until like later on. I didn't know. I mean, I heard of it, but I never saw what the game was.
I eventually got the game running at 15 frames per second in like 7th grade.
Hey, that's enough.
And I was like, wow, I'm playing with my friends. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then when no one started playing WoW again, or World of Warcraft, I went back to RuneScape. But what was it? I liked RuneScape because like I always liked how people hate it, like the exponential leveling system, but I always thought that was like a realistic thing. Like
it is very tough. I've never really fully trained a skill because I've never been able to bark up that tree. I can't grind like that.
Yeah.
I just can't sit there and grind. So
I know, like, when I was like, this is going to sound really lame, but when I was in high school and I was playing it a little bit, I remember just like leveling once and it was being so slow and like awful that like I started hating it. And then like later on, I just kind of like realized, I was like, wait, that's like real life though. I mean,
yeah,
you need to grind, find the smallest variables possible to change, and then just keep doing it, and then you'll eventually get it. And that sounds like a really lame way to express hard work and efficiency, but like that's my way of like looking at it.
And if you work hard enough, you will get a cape.
Yeah, and
with a picture of the thing you did on it.
I'm gonna get level 99 in
cooking.
No way. No, I can't cook. No. I am a hopeless cook, man. I'm like the worst in the world.
You burn all your shrimp?
No, when I was in Cub Scouts way back then, I think I told you this already, but when we were going and I was a kid, we were learning how to shoot like BB guns. And you know, when you're a kid, right, and you have a BB gun, you're like, man, this is so cool.
It's like a real gun.
Yeah,
I feel like the big man in town.
Yeah, like no one in my town or my area has this kind of thing, and like, you know, you're learning how to shoot, and this is sweet. And I remember like it was only like a 30-minute class, and that was it. And I was really into it. I'm like, man, this is sweet. I'm like hitting the bullseye. I'm like doing actually like pretty good. And then like the 30 minutes ends, and we go to a cooking class, and it's not like a normal cooking class. They're just like, all right, wrap this banana in foil and then throw it in the oven and then eat it. And I was like, what is
that?
I don't know. And I was like, I remember it vividly. And then like my friend Kevin thought it was good, and he ended up being a cook and like a for real like cook. And like I remember that class just being like, man, I could totally be shooting guns right now, but I'm wrapping a banana in foil, throwing it in an oven, and then eating it. Like, I want to get back to the guns. I thought that was awesome. And then I never went back there again. And I was like, oh, well.
Hey, now you know what you like.
Yeah, that was the most, like, polarizing, like, oh, I super don't like cooking. Like,
hey, look, some people's got to shoot the stuff, and some people have to cook it.
Yeah.
Some people have to pick the plants, and then other people have to make it. It's usually not the same person.
Yeah.
Culturally speaking, anyway.
I guess, yeah. Like, I remember going home on the bus or whatever, and I was just like really mad like that whole day. I was like, man, I'm not good at fishing. I got the award for catching the smallest fish.
At least you caught one.
Yeah, in the ceremony or whatever. I caught a turtle too, and I felt bad, and I took the hook out.
Put it back.
You're supposed to like get the turtle and like calmly put it back into the sea, but yeah. I got the hook out, and I was like, you know what? He seems okay. And he started looking at me, and I like threw it back in there. He's fine though. I mean, you know, I hope.
Have you ever heard stories about really strong winds moving creatures around and dropping them other places? Snakes falling from the sky, worms falling from the sky.
No.
Like a strong wind comes through and picks up a bunch of worms that were just all grouped together and then, you know, sprays them all over a city.
Is that real?
It's happened before, yeah. It's a rare event.
Oh, okay.
Very rare event, but it has rained worms on some places on Earth.
Jesus Christ. The first thing I thought of when you said that was like a beached whale or like a shark going onto the beach.
Similar experience.
Yeah.
I've never seen a beached whale, though.
Me neither.
Wouldn't want to, really. Kind of upsetting.
I was on a jet ski recently at Hilton Head.
Good for you.
And my family wanted to go parasailing. I wanted to hit the jet skis up and talk to babes. Just kidding. No, that didn't happen.
Hey, jet skis are awesome.
No, they rock. I hit like 80.
And I don't know if you're going to meet any babes out on a jet ski, but you could come back and talk about your experience at the jet ski bar.
I was like, I was going like 60 or 80 miles per hour on that thing. It was awesome. But
yeah, I rented it. Whatever. It's not mine. You have to get it from the rental place, but I was going really fast. Yeah, I was going really fast. You should have seen me. I'll take you out. I'll take you out if you want to go.
Babe, you want to talk about Super Monkey Ball 2? Hop on in. Dude, first things first, it's a really good physics game. But like I got in this jet ski and I was just like, I was driving around the thing, and then I saw.
Were you on a tour, or did you have it to yourself?
No, you freeball it and you just drive.
Cool.
And I went to like an island. I went to this like thing like near the town. It was cool. And then I was casually just in the middle at one point. I was trying to hit speed. I was trying to hit max speed on it, and I got up to like 80 or something.
Kilometers an hour?
I don't know. I don't really remember. I think it was like miles.
You went 80 miles an hour? It was probably kilometers.
It was probably kilometers.
Probably.
It was like 60 or 80 or something. I don't know.
80 miles an hour on the water is extremely fast.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. You could have.
I could have.
It was probably kilometers, though.
Okay. But,
damn, you would have been.
I'm gonna sound like
missile.
I'm sounding like such an asshole right now. Yeah, I went 80 miles per hour on a jet ski. It's like a Lion Kid in the neighborhood.
It definitely wasn't kilometers.
That's like the same level as like Lion Kid in the neighborhood that talks about a secret level in Mario Brothers 64 where you meet Luigi,
but doesn't tell anyone how to get to it.
You're like, no, I can't tell you.
If you know, you know.
My dad works at Nintendo, and it's actually like a really deep secret that they forgot to patch out when they released the game. So
look, you don't even have the skills to get there. If I told you, okay, you don't even have the skills, so I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, no, it was more like, yeah, I mean, I could show you, but I would take the experience away from you for you trying to figure it out, and it's like, no, you're just like lying to me. Man, but when I was on this jet ski, right, I saw these
going 80 miles an hour.
Yes. The most wrong I've been in this podcast so far, probably. But I saw these dolphins, and
oh wow,
and I was like, whoa, that's cool. There's like a pack. And then I saw like one disperse, and I was like, oh, I wonder where he's going. Oh, whatever. And then I'm like getting close to them, and I'm just like looking at him like 5-10 feet away. Like, man, these things are pretty cool. And then like I turn around, and that one that left earlier is tailing me. He's behind me. And
my gosh.
I was like, oh shit. All right, well, I better move. I saw another pack. I saw like 12 different dolphins. I was like,
wow,
this is cool.
That's a lot of dolphins.
But there was that one that was still following me.
They were interested in you.
Yeah, but like,
or trying to get rid of you.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get rid of me.
You're being escorted out of the dolphin zone.
Yeah, like they're like, hey, buddy, no humans allowed.
How do you think you look to them on that jet ski?
I'm like a big idiot that just got done going 80 miles an hour on a jet ski. Oh, you know what? Hold on, I'm looking this up. I need to look this up now. 80 miles an hour on a jet ski?
Probably not. So the last time I rode jet skis, and obviously this is a different place. I was in Florida. There was a rental place. It was a tour, not a freeballer, and the speedo read in kilometers an hour. And I got mine up to 60 kilometers an hour, which is more like 40 miles per hour, which is still really fast on the water. 40 miles an hour.
What's the max MHP that a jet ski ski-doo can do?
What you got there?
It's generating. Hold on. I've been using ChatGPT to just Google search stuff.
Okay.
Like, it's just faster. Okay, I think it was kilometers.
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah, at 80 miles per hour again on the water is extremely fast.
Most consumer models are electronically limited to 67 miles per hour due to U.S. 67 miles per hour due to U.S. Coast Guard regulations. However, some high-performance models like the Sea-Doo RXP X325 can exceed 80 miles per hour with mods. Okay, I don't think I was running a modded Sea-Doo, but
were you taking out a modded Sea-Doo from a rental place?
That'd be awesome. Babe, come hop in my modded Sea-Doo that I'm running.
Man, that's fast. You saw a lot of dolphins. That's a lot.
Yeah, I freaked
You
out.
saw a
'cause-
pack of them. You saw a pod. That's what it's called when you see a group.
Oh, really? A pod of dolphins?
Yeah, like a caravan of camels or a gaggle of geese. You saw a pod of dolphins.
When you see a group of pugs, they're called a grumble.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's a group of American tourists called?
A bunch of freaking stupid jerks that are probably pissing everyone off. Some
It
like
depends on where they are, I guess.
pajama pant, Marvel T-shirt, about to go to Walmart group. I don't know.
Socks with slides on.
Crocs that are going to blister their feet, and then they're going to complain about it 10 minutes later.
I wear Crocs.
Really? Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
When I
You
had
can make fun of them. It's fine. I don't wear Crocs to feel dignified. You know, they're work shoes.
Yeah.
So I don't wear Crocs to where anyone can see me.
I picked them up in like 4th grade, and then like I wore them to a pool party, like a family pool party, and my feet got super blistered, and I started like complaining about it like super hard.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they're better now, because when I was in 4th grade, they were hell.
I started wearing Crocs with socks because that's what my coworkers wear, because your feet get wet. And you can wear boots, but it's easier to maneuver in Crocs, so your feet will just, dry because there's holes in them. So, or you could just take your socks off.
Yeah.
But it's basically like you wear Crocs with socks if you're relenting to getting your feet wet at work, basically. Or you could just wear boots. So,
Yeah.
But, if your feet get wet, they'll dry off in time because there's the holes in the
Okay.
Crocs. So that's the idea of it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I don't wear mine without socks.
I barefooted mine, and my feet got like blown out.
Yeah.
So
Brand new pair of socks. A foot that wasn't prepared for the Croc.
yes.
Recipe for disaster.
Yeah, 4th grade me, with all of the insight of the entire world behind his small brain.
They're not an attractive shoe.
They make fun of it in Idiocracy, I think.
They should.
No, the shoes that the prisoners wear in Idiocracy, they're all Crocs.
Really?
Yeah, they're like orange.
What a sponsorship to have.
Hey guys, so we're about to go into a commercial break. Our sponsor this week is Crocs.
They must have been a little desperate back then.
I guess, yeah, I don't know. Mike Judge apparently said, like, I'm looking for, like, the weirdest looking shoe possible. And he thought the first thing that came to his mind was Crocs.
Crocs are pretty weird looking. They don't have to be that ugly. You can make the shoe do the exact thing a Croc does and look a bit more attractive.
Yeah.
But they just don't. So
I'd rather buy a Croc, though, than, like, there's a thing called, sneakerheads or something. They base their entire, like welfare and economy on what shoe model they pick up.
there are people who have extra rooms in their houses just to store shoes that they will wear. They will clean more than they wear, and they will wear them once.
That's got to be an interesting crowd.
And
That's like the Magic the Gathering crowd.
yeah, well, it's a male version of something that women typically do.
Yeah.
If I'm dating someone and she has a whole lot of shoes, I don't bat an eye.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That just seems kind of normal.
But if you're in a guy's house and he shows you first of all, if he's showing you his shoe room, something's wrong. But if he's telling you about his shoe room,
Welcome to, when you walk in, he's like,
first thing they do.
all right, first things first, I don't even have a living room. Let's go to the shoe room. And
It's like a 1-bedroom apartment,
yeah,
and the 1 bedroom is the shoe room, and he sleeps on the couch
yeah, he sleeps on the floor with like a pillow.
just to have the shoes.
Yeah. Oh man.
I love a good shoe. You have some kind of crazy looking shoes that I like. I don't know what kind they are. I love a good shoe. And when people wear loud clothing, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because it's all about how you wear it. And usually if people are going to wear loud clothing, they usually wear it well. Because it's all about your attitude.
Yeah.
You can't go around wearing something crazy and be self-conscious about it. So I do appreciate a good crazy looking shoe, but the whole a shoe is meant to be on the bottom of your foot. It bridges the gap between your foot and the world. Mm-hmm. It's a dirty thing.
I like white shoes because I like how scuffed they get over the years.
Yeah.
That's why I have white Hokas, and I have the Chad Muska re-release from like 20 years ago.
Nice. Very nice.
The one made by S or whatever on the like the bottom of it.
ES or S, however it's pronounced. I never knew.
Yeah, me neither. But like,
I still wear etnies.
really?
Not still. Well, I had a resurgence, right? So I stopped wearing etnies around 5th grade, and then I started wearing them again at age 24.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but they're great shoes.
Do you ever have to do like errands and then your first instinct is to like take your shoes off when you walk into your house and you're like, all right, I'm probably gonna be on the computer all day working, but you keep the etnies on because you don't know if like you're gonna have to go outside again?
Hold up.
This
Just because you say that, I know we don't have anything to do outside today, but since I have this pair of etnies sitting right next to me, I'm just gonna throw them on for our. Sorry, that was my foot against the table full of equipment.
against the $5,000 equipment setup.
Don't tell them how much it costs.
Nothing
Nothing going on here. Just a guy wearing his sneakers. I just cleaned these this morning because I knew you were coming over.
Just about to break $20,000 worth of audio equipment. Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm a
those,
sneakerhead. What were you gonna say about it, huh?
What am I saying?
I got 1,000 pairs of these upstairs. That's what the whole upstairs is for.
With the same blue laces.
No, you see, so I have a pair of these that are all the exact same color, but there's the E symbol is a slightly different shade of tan.
Oh,
So you need to have that. That's the basically the demo release. And then I have another version of these shoes where this E, again, it's all the same shoe, but the E is a little bit darker. It's a re-revision, Mm-hmm. So it's important that you have all the revised versions of a shoe.
And the funny thing about that shoe I heard also is they got the leather straight from the ancient Egyptian god Ra. And then he was like, you know what? I kind of like etnies too. Hook me up.
Yeah.
So
Etnies has been around for a lot longer than people realize. They think it's a company that started in the late 80s, early 90s, but that's not the case.
Yeah,
They're an ancient order of shoemakers that goes back for generations.
yeah, actually on Napoleon Bonaparte when he was building his army, his soldiers would get wet feet constantly, and he's like, man, whatever setup I have now is god awful. You know what? What were those shoes that ancient Egyptian god used to wear all the time? Oh yeah, etnies.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he's like,
I read about that in history class.
yeah, and they didn't learn skateboarding yet, but they did some pretty good sieges with those things. You know what I mean?
I heard skateboarding actually came from etnies.
Yeah.
So people were wearing these shoes so often that they were like, I really need some wheels under my feet. Fuck this walking shit.
Yeah.
So they developed a skateboard in order to have a more realistic experience with their shoe that they were wearing. It's just when you're wearing etnies, you need to have wheels under your feet.
Yeah.
And then that's how the Heelys were eventually invented. And then you have Heely culture, which most people think has died, but it's just, gone to a distant
Heelys
world.
is just getting started.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. It's going to come back. You thought Trump was big this year. You have no idea.
Well,
You're getting Heelys
well, watch out, Trump. 'cause
2025.
Heelys is actually, this podcast is sponsored by Heelys. Fun fact about Heelys, they're going to release a new model where they put soap inserts into the shoes so that you can slide down rails better when you jump on them.
Yeah, they're called Sudsies.
Yeah, they're called not having a date for a while. I don't know. No, you know what? No, if you roll up in like Heelys and be like, "Hey, babe, check this out," and you just float, like imagine like your date is at a bar, right? And you got 2 drinks. And it's like, you know what? Liam likes this kind of beer. I got him. And then you're like, "Hey, babe, how's it going?" And
You heel over to them.
You wear
Heel over
Heelys and a black leather trench cloak, or no, a trench coat with the Neo sunglasses from the Matrix, and you just Heely on over to him. When you walk up to the door to the bar, you don't actually push it. The door just physically explodes off the hinges.
Right, because it senses the Heely
Yeah, the Healy.
It's got an RFD tag in it.
No, it's got actually key energy that is stored into the base of the toe. So you already just emit a powerful presence whenever you're wearing these things. So the door explodes off the hinges, and you're just like, babe, guess who's here? And then you Healy on over to her, and everyone's blown away.
And she says, "Whoa, how do you move like that?"
Babe, I don't know. he says,
"Listen, babe, you wouldn't understand. Come with me."
Yeah.
Or, "I've got a pair for you."
He's like, "Sorry, babe, I don't drink beer. Beer's for losers." And then you Healy away and you leave her.
Or she's like, "How did you do that?" And he says, "I don't talk to women without wheels in their feet." And he wheels out of there.
No, he's like, "I don't talk to women," and then he leaves.
I just checked Healy's website. They're still in business.
Oh yeah,
On a more serious note.
there's mad buyers.
Yeah, good for them. My brother had a pair.
Really?
I could never get it down. I tried it. I tried his pair. I tried my friend's pair when he got them. I could never get it down.
What's the move set for Heelys? Like,
You have one
like tricks.
Tricks.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably grind. It was similar to inline skating tricks, which I'm not into. I've always been a skateboarder.
Oh, grinding
We
is
kind of made fun of those people.
grinding was soaping. Do you know
Soaping, yeah, exactly.
Do you know the soap
So-
inserts that you pop into the bottom part of the shoe? It's like curved and made of plastic, so that when you hop on Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog in Sonic Adventure Battle 2, great game. That game actually has soap sponsors in the first level.
Really?
City Escape, yeah. And when you're grinding down these rails, it's implied that he has soap inserts.
On his
And like
on his feet.
sparks are flying everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
And it's really cool.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to keep talking about that game because if I do, this episode's going to turn into like a 7-hour thing.
I was also not a Sonic kid, so I don't have much to add, unfortunately.
Sonic kids are a very special type of
Yeah.
person.
You know the type. They're the kids that ran with their hands behind them.
Yeah, me. Yeah, that was
on
me.
the playground.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I used to quote Shadow the Hedgehog, like whenever like going up to like hit the ball at like T-ball. He's like, "You'd understand my power," and then just like crack the ball and start. Well, I actually never hit the ball that well. So,
Shadow the Hedgehog was cringy back then as a kid.
but
I remember playing a Shadow video game.
oh, the one with the gun.
Yeah. And I was like,
That was a rough game.
yeah.
Yeah, they gave Shadow.
So for not being a Sonic kid and then not being my first game,
No,
which shouldn't have been, but you're a kid, you don't know. My parents probably bought it for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? So it kind of turned me off of
I think you've probably started off with the worst Sonic game
yes.
probably ever made.
I'm just
Because
I remember again.
people like that game, like my age, ironically, because just how like weird and like, wait, so this hedgehog that can run at like faster than 80 miles per hour on a jet ski.
he's got a gun.
He's got a gun and he rides a motorcycle. Like, why does he need the motorcycle? He can just run really fast. Like, I don't know. But like, that's like probably the worst Sonic game, except
Never went back.
except the 2008 one. But Shadow the Hedgehog was like one of the worst Sonic games ever. The one I started out on was Sonic Adventure Battle 2, and that was just the mechanics and gameplay of that game are awful, but the world and the soundtrack to it are awesome. So,
So it's worth a playthrough.
Probably not. But like,
No? It's worth let me look up this game on YouTube and see what it looks like.
yes.
Yeah. I've been doing that with Morrowind. I don't think I can play Morrowind, but I like watching people who were into the Elder Scrolls back then talk about it because this was a new game to them.
I like video game reviews of Morrowind. I saw two. One was by I think Mandalore and this guy named Seath or something. But that game like looks the story. I think the story. So here's how I think Morrowind got written. I think the guy who wrote the story to Morrowind, locked himself in his like apartment or like room for like a month and was on amphetamines the entire time. I think he was on a drug and he just wrote the whole thing out in like a month, and then he said, "All right, do what you can." And it's actually like a pretty good story. So
interesting.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I haven't been very turned on to the game.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks really like clunky and buggy, but like the story within it looks cool.
The story looks awesome.
Like I think
so I'm wondering if it was amphetamines or maybe it was a different drug.
He was on like drugs or something, yeah. But
I do appreciate the devotion to the art piece and saying, you know what, I'm not going to leave my house till this is done. If it was that type of deal, you know, I have this project and it's got to get done. So let me just force myself. And, you know, if I have to smoke meth to do that, then that's fine. Whatever. Fucking light up. Got a light bulb here and a lighter. Let's go for it. You know, the meth guy, big fan of Shadow the Hedgehog. He also drives a motorcycle, so he can come by. I don't have to leave the house.
He's Shadow the Hedgehog is my supplier. He just comes to me in a motorcycle, calls me a loser, and then drives away.
I've been playing Oblivion.
Yeah.
And when I tried playing that game, we didn't talk about this yet, did we? I don't think I have.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think I've talked about this. When I first tried playing Oblivion, it was after I played Skyrim for the first time, which is tough. But now that I'm a bit older and I have more appreciation for video game design, you know, I've looked. I'm probably not going to make my own game, but since I've looked into the topic, I have more appreciation for it. Now I'm really enjoying Oblivion, actually, for the story. And honestly, it doesn't look that bad either. I think the graphics might be limited, but I think they're charming. It's kind of...
I don't mind, like, PS2 looking graphics or like blocky ones at all.
It just needs to be enough. Enough to get by, and then the story will carry it the rest of the way. And for right now, I'm not that far into Oblivion, but that's where I'm getting at. And plus, for people that this was a new game for, the graphics looked amazing. Mm-hmm. But I'm used to, you know, I'm coming off of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
So
well, Baldur's Gate 3 is just good in and of itself. It got Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I think I said this in the last podcast, but I have a video game idea that I want to... Do you ever find yourself, like, not finding time to, like, sit behind a computer for, like...
You ever find yourself running... You ever find just... Sorry. What were we saying? Behind the computer.
Back then, I mean, I used to be able to just sit behind a computer for like 6 to 8 hours straight and then just like work on something.
You mean gaming or working on a creative project? Like
a creative
editing?
project, yeah. Like Crazy Burp and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's the war of art.
Yeah.
It's,
like,
I think the more you realize the significance of the art piece, the harder it becomes to get to completion. But then that also gives it more greatness.
It does, yeah.
Which makes you prioritize what's the most important thing to do. So I think often it's, you know, let me drop, you know, I'm doing 5 different creative things right now. I'm trying to do a podcast. I'm trying to do a TV show. I'm trying to write a book. I'm trying to write an album, whatever. This is an example. I think you reach a point where you have to decide, pick one thing and go all in on that. Like this guy smoking meth, writing Morrowind.
Yeah.
And because it is so hard to lock in, is what they say. My dad and I were talking about old people using young people's lingo. Yeah. And I feel like that when I say lock in, so I apologize.
No, I say that all the time at work.
But that's a descriptive phrase.
It is. It is a good one. Yeah.
And the reason why I say the War of Art is because there's a book named written by Stephen Pressfield called The War of Art, which there's been many books written like this, but lays out very nicely that the more, I guess, the more significant the piece is, the harder it is to do. But then, if you can get past that, then the more rewarding it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I experience that all the time. I
sometimes get worried about spreading myself too thin, because the game I want to make is not technically difficult, but when you hear about like video game teams, they have a dedicated art guy, they have a dedicated texture artist, they have a dedicated sound guy, they have a dedicated programmer.
And then maybe multiples depending on how large the company is.
Yeah, and the game I'm thinking about making is a clone of Time Crisis 2. That game, I think I talked about it in the last podcast. You step on the pedal and to hide behind cover, and then when you release the pedal, you shoot.
So you would be cloning the mechanics, but then writing your own story?
Yeah, but the mechanics are, I'm going to try to do a combo system with the gun shooting. So if you land a headshot, you get 2 extra bullets and you don't have to reload.
So would you be, is there an engine that this original game is based on that you can use, or would you have to recreate?
I'd have to recreate it because
you would have to like backward engineer the game.
Yeah, because the game engine came out for, I don't know if it was like Konami or Sega who made Time Crisis 2, but those guys have their in-house engines.
They have their own engine. Yeah, okay.
They don't. And then this was
not
like
open source.
Yeah, and this came out in like 99.
Right. So you would have to backwards engineer the game, which can be done.
Yeah.
What do you think? What kind of? I've done very little research in game engines, but I was kind of looking into the feasibility.
Yeah.
Would you do it in a modern engine, or would you create your own engine?
I'd want to...
And just code the whole thing manually?
I'd probably just use a preset engine. I can't imagine... I'm not like a good programmer. So if I have something that like gives me like the step up in the first place and like a bunch of other people use it already, I'd probably do that.
I've heard that's one of the good things about using an engine is that you get the community as well.
Yeah.
You get all the YouTube tutorials and
I will say,
the assets as well.
I'll say this, like in-house engines are usually just probably better. They definitely are.
If
but
you are starting your own video game company, then that's obviously the way to go, because you're not going to make one game. You're going to make, hopefully, like 20.
Well, my objective is to make a small game, sell it for cheap, but the things I want to put time into are how the people are textured, the voice acting. I straight up don't know how I'm gonna do like music for the game. But yeah, I know. But I imagine like
You've got a couple people you can ask.
No, I know, but like
but it's tough. I mean, it's not just like recording a couple songs. It's writing a whole
music is tough though. Like,
yeah, it has to set the tone for the game. A lot of times when you start up a game, you hear the music.
Imagine
and, it sets the tone for the area that you're in.
I was thinking like almond break, like breakbeat stuff. Kind of, but that is so far ahead right now. The only thing I've been thinking about recently was so like I want it to be a rail shooter. You're not giving controls. You don't have a WASD key moveset. You just have the mouse and you move the cursor around the screen to shoot.
Like arcade style.
Yeah. I want to make a rail shooter because like I think they're cool. Like I don't mind scripted like, oh, you have to move here and then here and stuff like that. But by doing that, I can very easily make a scene and then just let it happen. Make like a game that lasts like an hour or two and then
why don't you make a Wii game?
A Wii game?
Yeah. You could use the Wii controller for your motion control. Boom, boom, boom. There's probably more buttons than you'd want, but that's something you can plug right into your computer. You know,
I guess, but like the thing is to make it easy to immediately play. And the thing I'm thinking of is like if just like everyone has a mouse already.
Yeah, right to the mouse. That makes sense.
Yeah, and
I'm just thinking of like playing this. I'm thinking of when you're describing your game. You know, you're thinking about code. I'm thinking about I'm in Cameron's arcade playing one of his games. And it's a big box, and I've got a Wii controller, and I can see the end product. That's like
making a cabinet by yourself.
That's the easy part. Making a cabinet's way easier than making the game.
I know, but yeah, like that's like so much.
Make a box, put a TV in it.
I'm trying to make like something as small as I humanly can, and then you could play it. But the premise, do you want me to tell you the premise?
Sure. Well, I'll say this. I think it's a good idea that you're starting off with a clone of a game that you like rather than just trying to go straight off the bat, because you need some sort of reference material. When you need some sort of finished product to work off of to know how to do it.
I've just had like I remember going to like video game conventions and stuff, and there's people that made games for like. I get freaked out about like time consumption on stuff sometimes. So like I remember going to like a video game convention when I was like 20 or something, and someone was talking about making like a game for like 10 years, and like I followed their page, and like, you know, they finally released it, and it got like literally nothing, like no installs, and I was like, man, that's like a passion project that he like loves, but like at some point you gotta like, I don't know, like I get freaked out about that stuff. Like, what if the thing I'm putting time into,
If it took him 10 years, that's his fault. It doesn't matter. I don't care what's going on.
Yeah.
If it took you 10 years, it either took you 10 years because you didn't care, or your life was so distracted.
It's probably
right?
that. I mean,
you know, maybe you worked on it for a year and then it sat on your desk for 8 years, and then you picked it up later. You don't know the full story, so
it probably is that, because like,
yeah,
it's
your fault if it takes you if it takes you 10 years.
When I think of work, right, I think of like how to be efficient every single minute as humanly as I can, because we eventually want to leave, and then just make sure it's done.
Time is money.
Yeah, but like there are people out there that like I found over time, like they say they work like 12 to 14 hours a day, and then you see them working and they're kind of standing around talking to other people for like 13 hours of the day, and then they're doing work for like 1 hour.
Yeah, just on the cell phone, TikTok.
Yeah.
You're just getting paid with benefits, with you're able to go to the dentist for free because you have benefits from work. And when you go to work, you sit on TikTok on your phone and pretend to work.
Yeah,
and maybe you do 1 hour's worth of work per day.
Honestly, yeah.
And then there's people outside your office working on the electric lines up there.
Yeah.
Or there's a guy climbing a thing to replace a light bulb on top of a power station. Or there's a lady whose hand is wrapped around someone's bleeding heart in surgery, and she's waiting for her doctor friend to bring a Band-Aid for the heart. That's not how surgery works, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I guess
I think you know, it's hard to say where those jobs are and how much of that is going on. I think it's too hard to say. We'll never get an answer, but something you see all the time. You know, how much of that is you're just catching someone on a quick break? You know, I have a 12-hour day and I sat down for a half hour and you happen to see me, maybe. You know, how much of it is that, and how much of it is actually like there's nothing to do at work. You know, the boss is saying, hey, quiet down. Hey, the boss is telling you, I'm going to need you to stretch your work week out a little bit because I don't have anything else to give you.
Oh, like one manning a 2-man operation? Because
I was implying 2 manning a 1-man operation. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
is there's not enough, like, Cameron, you're too efficient of an employee. I need you to slow down your workload because you're getting too much done. You're making other people look bad.
Oh, I've never had that.
So it's like, slow down.
I did get in trouble for.
It does happen. I'm not saying it's happened to me. Well, it has happened to me, but that does happen some places. I just don't.
Yeah,
it's hard to say how often.
I guess
that is.
I don't think that happens a lot. If someone says you're really efficient in something, they don't tell you, and then you just keep doing the workload. Usually, I don't know, but the game that I was like I don't know, like I think you get more projects if you're like really efficient and stuff, which is good
in the right circumstances. But I think that there are jobs that are kind of set up to not be, that might not be the best for real go-getters.
Yeah.
Like, I think really ambitious people might get caught up in places where there's not enough to do, so they have to leave that job, and then they have to go and find a better position because they're completing too much work, and they're kind of too good for the job, basically.
It's also
describing.
It's also if your team isn't like serious enough about something.
Yeah.
And then you have to do their work because they're not doing it on time.
Exactly.
Like that.
And then you're suffering from problems because you're going at such a high pace, but then nobody else is really keeping up with you.
Well, the thing is like you're doing a juggle, right? And you're forcing yourself into a juggle because like these projects aren't getting completed. And then when you try to run it back to your main project, you're probably don't have the same energy or concentration you did when you were trying to help the other guys with their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no fun. But do you want to take a quick commercial break and maybe get a second cup of coffee?
Yeah, sure.
Because I want to talk about the game I had.
Yeah, sure.
I think I have an okay story. And again, it's going to be a $5, $10 game.
Okay.
I really don't like video games being priced at like $60 unless it's like
AAA game, like Baldur's Gate 3.
Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of AAA games now aren't like good. Like I think like back, I don't know if this was me being like a kid and playing AAA games and they were the best thing in the world, but like I think a lot of AAA games now are just like
some are worth it, some aren't.
Yeah, like Baldur's Gate 3 is like so up there in like quality, and it's worth $60.
It's worth
like,
way more than the $60 you pay for it.
Yeah.
Whereas other $60 games aren't worth a cent.
I think like GTA like 6 or something, like they're thinking about making that game like $100.
Oh please!
And like,
you know what I think I logged into Steam like a couple weeks ago, and it's like here's the new version of GTA 5. It's like that game was boring when it came out.
I don't think I like
I like you're rewrapping it again. It's worse than Skyrim.
I remember being like a kid and we all had that one friend that you would go to his place to play the game, like Vice City or San Andreas. Mm-hmm. I liked those games because like at the start, like it was this huge world that you could just drive around in and do whatever you want. But then it also turned it into this thing with not so much GTA 4, but like with GTA 5 specifically, where the world is so big, like it's insane, which is a feat in of itself, but like...
Yeah, but it's boring.
What's in those spaces, right?
Nothing.
And that's like what kind of kills me. And
it's like Starfield. It's a Starfield problem.
I think so, yeah.
It's realistic and commendable for being so large. Mm-hmm. So like, non-emotionally. It's like, wow, that's an achievement. Good job.
It's like, wow, it's huge. Okay, what's in it? Oh, yeah, there's
I'd rather play a tiny map full of little Easter eggs and funny little jokes. And
apparently the polar opposite.
GTA 5 is boring.
Yeah,
GTA 4 is better than GTA 5.
There's more stuff. You can like do, I think you can do like bowling in GTA 4, right? With, like,
you can
Roman.
go bowling, you can go to the strip club, you can play darts.
Yeah, but like with GTA 5, it's like so many buildings. It's like, okay, can I walk in it? No. Okay.
No.
All right, can I walk into this one? No. Yeah. All right. Like
I get it. People love it. I mean, if you love to live out your homicidal fantasies, great. You can play GTA.
I guess. Yeah.
But I don't personally like to do that.
The polar opposite.
I play for the story, man. There's no story in GTA.
Yeah. The opposite of GTA is Yakuza.
I've never even heard of Yakuza.
Yakuza is like it's a small.
There's no map.
No, it's a small. There's a map, but it's like way smaller than like GTA. But every single building, every single thing in that map, you can walk into and do a quest for.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and guess what?
That's really cool.
And here's the cool thing about Yakuza. Mm-hmm. It's made by the guy who made Super Monkey Ball 2. Commercial break.
Greetings, Streetwalkers. Daddy Josh here to tell you about this week's sponsor, Big Muffler. Now I use Big Muffler products every day and I just love them. They're a great company, Texas-based, and they have a variety of products which range from very large to excessively big.
Bigfoot-sized big.
Allow me to explain. Big Muffler takes everyday objects and magnifies them in order to represent the maximum growth of the spirit inside. These products range from oversized kitchen utensils all the way up to real mufflers for your vehicle. I cannot overstate the nearly orgasmic feeling I receive when I go to turn on my grill and have to spin a propane tank valve that is the size of a car tire. Or how about when I can hardly fit my toothbrush into my mouth because it is the size of a big fat eggplant. Toilet paper, but you only have to buy one roll per year. I could kill a man with my toenail clippers. Am I making myself clear? You best listen because you will not be given a second chance. This is your second chance, Streetwalker. And you won't regret it. Here, take this form and select your Big Muffler merchandise. You do that, you get to go home. Plain and simple. No tricks, no who's a babble or what's a doodling here. Just fill out the form.
It kind of sounds like someone's pissing in my ears when I have the headphones on listening to this. It sounds like I'm listening to someone pissing, and it's too close to my ears. That's what this is like. It smells really good down here, though.
It does, yeah.
I brought the coffee machine down to the studio so we can get the full experience. The full Starbucks experience.
Starbucks.
Yeah. Although I don't think I have the personality skills to act like a Starbucks employee. I don't have enough tattoos.
Yeah, I can't think of
You need a microphone.
I know.
Cam's got no mic right now. Cam, so ribbon mics are double-sided. So if you yell into the back of that mic, they'll hear you. If you yell into the back of the coffee maker.
Hello? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so there's a dead spot on the side of it right here. So dead spot, and then right back into center. Pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
Back in the 50s, this was really all they had for good, clear microphones, so they would have to use the dead spot in the microphone to... They would arrange the band a certain way in the studio, so that certain people were... louder instruments were in closer to the dead spot, and quieter people like the singer were closer to the front of the mic.
Back in the 50s, guys also had to go on one knee and throw themselves in the corner to make sure that they're getting picked up audio-wise. Let me get a better spot. Hold on.
It's just till the coffee's done.
There we go. How's that?
We should have a microphone just for the coffee maker for next podcast. So like have 3 mics set up. This way we all get an equal voice.
Yeah. This is kind of awkward right now. Like, Liam's talking to me, but I'm like, my back is fully turned towards him. And I'm just trying to talk into this mic while the coffee's going, too. It's something that you would see in, like, a mental hospital. Like, yeah, dude, I totally get what you're talking about. Just, like, not, like, in front of you.
Although in a mental hospital, I wouldn't be here. I would just be a figment of your imagination.
It's like, what was that, Liam? And I turn around and you're not there.
Cameron, Liam died 10 years ago.
Huh? What?
He left you this letter and this video. I'm Liam, and if you're watching this, it means that I have died.
No, but like you put the video on, and there's just like it's just a wall, and it's you not talking,
And you're still dreaming.
You're
dreaming the video.
I'm still visualizing you in the video, and the guy who told me that you never existed doesn't exist either. And it's like another nurse comes in, and is like, oh, not the video again. And it's like, no, Liam's in this. And he's like, no, it's just a video of a blank wall. There's nothing there.
And then you panic and try to leave, and you run out of the establishment, and you end up walking into a Dunkin' Donuts lobby.
And then guess who's behind the same counter? The guy from earlier.
Trevor.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
What did it look like his name was? You know how people look like their names when you know their names, but then you don't know when you don't know their name? They're just a mystery? What do you think their name was?
Looked like a Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. I'm sorry
Yeah.
for the Kyles out there. But
It was like an Indian guy, but his name was definitely Kyle.
I've never met an Indian named Kyle.
Nah, well, I think I just met the first one, so.
Is the coffee done?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Sounds like it's done.
All right, I'll set
Let's
it
get
back
that mic back in place.
up.
Oh. Camera has a hand in the air.
All right, that was a cool sound.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move the gadget.
It was like an old train engine moving into the station. An old like steam steam train. One of those things.
I should lay down and talk like a therapist. So
You kind of, on that couch you could. I did say if you want to put your feet up, you can.
Yeah,
Here, do you want an extra pillow? There's pillows next to you. You could use those to, and we could talk about your problems. Did you get your coffee?
No, not yet. But yeah, earlier today when I went to Dunkin' Donuts, this guy was really weird to me, and I don't know how to comprehend it.
Can you tell me how you maybe could have handled this situation better?
Maybe if I went into my Ford F-150, pulled out my gun, and walked into the Dunkin' Donuts and aimed it at him, aimed it at Kyle and said, hey, listen, you're going to have some glazed donuts, okay, or things are going to get messy. Then maybe I think things would have worked out better.
Okay, here's some prescription medication.
Oh, okay, what? I mean, no.
Yeah, on your way.
I don't need
If
it.
you are going to sit like that, you're going to have to move that mic a little bit closer to you. It's too low.
It is? Okay. Yeah. All right. No, you know what?
Do you want me to help you readjust it? You want to get up? Or
No, I got it. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say something. If I'm drinking coffee and laying like this, you know it's going to, like, fall off the side and it's going to stink up the place. So let me...
Yeah, you're going to get coffee stains all over the studio.
Yep, in the $500,000 audio studio.
Yeah, we're in a spacecraft right now. This is people don't understand. We are in a artisan artfully crafted, handcrafted, stainless steel, steampunk designed artisan spacecraft that's been converted into a podcast studio by a famous ogre named Ryan, and this is the person that I bought it from. So Ryan the ogre is he's brokered a few properties for me, so we have some history.
Ryan the audio.
Yeah. So he was trying to start a podcast with his ogre friends, but they can't really talk that well. They're not as eloquent as Ryan is, so.
Audio.
I could just hear thunder in my ears from you moving the mic stand. And I'm trying to talk through this hell. Oh my god.
Sorry,
Oh, be happy this is edited. Sounds like the mast of a sail ship. You good?
No. I lied. I'm not good. The things you do to get high quality audio.
Yeah.
There we go. I think it sounds pretty good now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Wait, hold on. Let me keep hitting the microphone really hard.
Did you get any coffee?
No.
Get some coffee.
I will. All right.
So let me tell you what love is. Love is when you have 2 strawberry-filled donuts and
Taking the hoodie off.
you leave one. Hoodie's coming off. Gloves are going on. And you leave one of them and somebody else eats it and you're not mad. You're happy that they had the experience.
Check this out.
That's what love is giving your donut away freely so that someone else can have that experience. And that's our ad today. Today, the show is sponsored by something that's very short in commodity, and that is compassion. We here at the show try to practice as much compassion as possible, especially when it has to do with our donuts, especially when you have to deal with places such as Dunkin' Donuts in an undisclosed location on the Black Horse Pike, somewhere there.
I thought we weren't naming names.
We're not. I just said the Black Horse Pike. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. This is ad for compassion. This is the people at Compassion gave me this ad read. So this isn't me saying this. This is them. This is what they said for me to say.
They compassionately didn't get me what I needed. So
No. And that's the type of sacrifice a compassionate person will make. So Cameron, since he's a compassionate person, he had to be in that place when someone was called a moron. Someone was getting called a fucking idiot that day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to be those old people, was it?
No.
It was going to be you.
I got called a weird. No. I got called. Maybe I am stupid. I'm moving the tripod too much. But maybe I got called a weirdo because I don't know. I can't read a web browser that's at 50%. I guess I don't know.
Not your fault.
Not my fault.
But as things would go, someone was getting called some mean names today.
Yeah,
And better be you than those old people. Because you know what? You have your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah.
They don't.
They don't. No.
That might have been their last visit to Dunkin' Donuts. That's fucked up to say. And that's going to be their last memory of Dunkin' Donuts was seeing this guy named Kyle.
I think
call a nice, compassionate man
a weirdo.
A weirdo.
I think those old guys are going to Tahiti, and then they're just like, man, I can't wait to get out of this dump. Am I right?
They're just going to sail off into the sunset. And you know why? Because they're compassionate people. And they deserve a good few golden years.
They do. And they'd had it already when they were 18.
Yes. And those people at Dunkin' Donuts will never see how good life can be.
Nope. They are
because they don't have compassion in their heart. They're not sponsored by compassion. And they don't partake of it with sponsorship or not.
They're, you know what? They're never going to.
Call 1-800-COMPASSION for all your compassionate information. There's also 1-800-PASSION for those who are feeling a little bit, depends on the hour of the night, I suppose.
I guess, yeah. Jeez. This podcast is sponsored by Compassion. A lot of us don't have it. So why don't you go ahead and make yourself busy and go get some. Okay?
Look, we have a lot of sponsorship opportunities on the show, and we have to... I don't pick favorites, okay? No, I do love Compassion, but we have a lot to cycle through. So it's going to be a little bit different each time. It's not going to be the same. And look, if we have a really good one, we develop a great relationship, fine, but the show's new. You don't know where it can go.
We use what we can for financial gain. No.
That, like how we were taught in school.
Yeah.
We're going to take the money and we're going to run. And we're going to screw out other people as much as possible.
We're going to screw out Etnies, Heelys, Compassion.
And I'm going to talk about products I don't use. Yeah. I'm going to push drugs from drug companies that are bad for you. And I'm going to know they're bad, and I'm going to push them on my show anyway.
We're going to start doing sponsorships for War Thunder and Loot Crate. And then everyone's going to start magically liking our podcast.
And World of Tanks.
And World of Tanks. I give World of Tanks a break because apparently that game's good. I don't know.
I've heard good things. Yeah.
Fucking Loot Crate though, that's insane. That was a mid-tens thing.
Mid-tens?
Yeah. Yeah. Loot Crate. Like, whoa, I get a shitty t-shirt and like a cup holder.
Do you remember the mini games that they had in MySpace and Facebook? I don't know if Facebook did it, but I think MySpace had like JavaScript games. Do you remember this?
No, I wasn't a MySpace guy.
Oh.
Yeah. I had a Facebook, and I think the only thing they had was like Farmville or something. I forgot.
Farmville was Facebook, yeah. So maybe Facebook is what I'm thinking of, the Flash games.
Okay.
Miniclip was always better. Or addictinggames.com.
Or
when I think of Flash games.
I liked Newgrounds a lot.
Newgrounds, yeah. Well, so at my school, Newgrounds was blocked. Miniclip was not.
That's because they hosted porn on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That, all right. I didn't know that.
No,
I thought it was just for games.
No, so like Newgrounds,
I guess it was a forum as well as a gaming place.
Yeah, Newgrounds is an art. It's a portal to like art, music, and video games. You can post your art and music and video games to this site, and the rule was it had to be like your own thing, and you couldn't use trademarked like sounds. I guess I don't really remember it that well, but all I remember from like back then was it was like parodies of like Mario and like Sonic, and I thought that honestly, I thought those were really funny, and some of them still are. But a lot of cool people came from Newgrounds, most notably I think Zach Hadel's the funniest guy that came from that site. He's the guy that made Smiling Friends
Okay.
on HBO Max. He's really funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. From Newgrounds to HBO. That's quite the,
Yeah, no,
quite the
he
trip, right?
he's killing it right now. I think he's like people are feverishly like waiting for season 3 right now. And I tried to
You know what I'm feverishly waiting for?
compassion.
Some compassion in my life. Because we're still doing this ad read.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I'm sorry.
I wanted to, those guys we were a day late.
Buck short.
Yeah, Adult Swim had a like a street fest. So what that meant was like you can go to the Fillmore in Philadelphia, and they would actually have the giant building like as an inflatable blow up in Smiling Friends, like the giant smiling guy.
Oh, wow.
I thought Mike Cusack and Zach were going to be there on like Saturday night, but I think it was like Friday night, and we like missed it by a day. But that day was awesome. It was like me and my friend Drew, and we saw we went bowling because in the Fillmore they have a place called Brooklyn Bowl.
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah, right next door.
yeah, and then we just like started walking around and just checking out like all the new stuff Adult Swim's been working on. And we saw probably this is going to sound really, really weird coming from me, but I saw the best musical performance I've ever seen in my life, which was the band Death Clock from the show Metalocalypse. Like the guys who are in the band in Metalocalypse, Death Clock, were playing live, and like that was the most like awesome experience I've ever had, because like they were like,
Did you know they were going to be there, or were you surprised?
no, I saw like, oh, Death Clock's here, and I was like, wait, that's the that's the Metalocalypse.
So you had
band.
no idea until you saw the sign.
No, I was trying to see like Zach and like Michael Cusack. Like they had like an animation panel, but I missed it by a day, and I should have paid attention. But
Sounds like you saw something better.
probably
Maybe not as good. I don't know.
No, I don't
you gotta
know.
take what you can get, right?
Yeah, but like that band was like awesome, dude. Like I've never been that hyped to, like I was like, oh, Death Clock, I like Metalocalypse, I'll check them out. And it was like a really normal like thing, like walking into it. And then when I left, I was like, that was the greatest performance I've ever seen in my life. Because those guys are
That's
like,
awesome.
I've never seen like a group of people like throw their heart into something like that. And like, it was awesome, dude. I was also kind of drunk, but like, it was like, I couldn't even explain it. Like everyone in the pit was moving. I was on the second floor. I'm not doing pit stuff. And, but it was cool. Yeah,
It's music, man. It's the best.
it is.
It's what moves you. It's what moves everything. When it's good. Sometimes music. Yeah, music is either like so good it makes you feel like that, like you're describing, or it's so bad it's like I need to get out of here right now.
Oh,
like when we were in that bar the other night.
I have to run.
Yeah, let me get out of here.
No, like I need to like not casually like walk away. I need to run.
Oh, the singer of the band is coming up to the people drinking at the bar and no one's into it, and he's singing in their faces.
Yeah.
Get me the fuck out of here.
You're giving me PTSD right now. Yeah. That guy was.
Oh, we need to go to video one day so that the people could see your face, because your face is perfect right now.
Oh, like I want to die.
Yeah, like you want to die. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I was waiting for. So me and Liam went to this bar recently. I know it's another bar story. Oh, I went to a bar.
No, they're all different. And
I
okay,
know,
first of
but,
all,
like-
it was after. Was it the open mic or the roast? It was the roast.
The roast.
It was the roast. So after our comedy shows at the theater, we go. Usually the whole crowd. It's usually an open mic crowd, and everyone goes to the bar across the street. That's just where the after party takes place. So we had a roast the other night at the theater. And so sort of like a comedy show and similar crowd. So I figured everyone went to the bar across the street as usual. So I said, hey, Cam, you want to head out and go to the bar and see if we can, hang out with some people from the roast? So we go over there, and it's Saturday night. And I said that weird. We go over there, and it's a Saturday night. And
Yeah,
I sounded Canadian for a second.
a little bit. Saturday
It's
night,
because
eh?
I've been listening to so much Jordan Peterson. I got my lobsters all in a tizzy.
Sometimes there's just people here in this world that want to see people just you look at them and you can't believe how long they've been living. They're such foolish idiots. You want to shake them and say, "Wake up!" I can't do Jordan.
Clean your room. So that's the background. So the Saturday before, the bar was popping. There was karaoke. My friend Pat does the karaoke there. So all the comedians were there. Everyone was having a great time. And I figured, it's going to be the same experience as that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we walk in and it was like a stink bomb went off without the smell.
Yeah. There's a lot of...
It was just awkward. There was almost no one there. There was a band about to play. And we were listening to the music. There was a Michael Jackson song that was playing that we were jamming out to.
Yeah, Billie Jean.
Billie Jean was on, so that was great.
Yeah.
But we knew that the minutes were winding down for the band to come back on.
Mm-hmm. And we were doing a mental bet as to what the first song was. My mental bet was Kickstart My Heart by, what's that band? AC/DC. Where they're like, wow, yeah! It's like, what's it called? The Kevin James OST? Original soundtrack.
Oh my
like
God.
you can see it in the Kevin James movie.
Yeah.
Like Paul Blart or whatever. I was waiting.
He kind of looked like Kevin James a little bit too.
We should make a playlist.
If Kevin James was like less successful,
we should make a playlist called the Kevin James playlist, and it's just every single track you put into like his movies. I don't mind Kevin James, but there's a very distinct like music selection he has for his movies, and like,
would you put the Star Trek Enterprise theme song in that selection?
Is it in a Kevin James movie? I don't think so. It'd be like Kickstart My Heart, TNT, that one song.
Dynamite. Back when that was like that was cool. That was edgy. Saying TNT Dynamite into a microphone was edgy at one point in culture, in American culture.
Yeah, there's we're gonna put Panama by Van Halen. Which
I love that song.
No, I love that song too. I love that song too, but I imagine it being in a Kevin James movie where he's like driving a golf cart too fast or something.
Yeah, it's like a slideshow of him driving and then like causing chaos in the neighborhood.
Kevin James is going 80 miles per hour on a golf cart.
and all the people, like, he's causing damage, but all the people are like, it's okay. That's Kevin.
Kevin James crashes a wedding in a golf cart going 80 miles per hour. And when he gets off, he's crashing through people like in the Blues Brothers movies where they're in the mall, but in a golf cart. And at the end, he jumps off a ramp and it's like, whoa, yeah! And he crashes into the wedding cake and things explode.
And he somehow catches some bank robbers somewhere along the way.
And then when he gets out of the golf cart right after it exploded, he'd be like, whoa, guys, I'm so sorry. No. And then that's how it ends.
It's just his face. No. Credits roll.
Oh, what? No. Oh, no, that's not. He's like, oh, damn it. Oh, we got to get out. I can't do.
I can't do impressions either. I'm not,
yeah, no,
not good at them.
I'm hopeless right now.
Some people can really do good impressions. Like my friend Joe, he can do it. Mm-hmm. Joe can do good impressions of people he knows. I can't. I don't really practice them though. I don't really care. I feel like it's hard enough doing an impression of yourself all the time.
I like doing impressions of like people at work. Like guy that just graduated from college and he's still in a frat apparently. Like, dude, I don't know if that's like a good idea.
That's one of the most depressing things I've heard all week.
Yeah.
Just joining a frat to begin with is well, if you're like a young guy and you have no direction, I guess that gives you.
I think there's frats out there that are like normal, but like there's just like the stereotype of like just them being like, dude, no way. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean hazing culture, bro culture, the culture of symbolism. It's like it's all about, I belong to this.
Oh, now you call
thing, and we have a symbol with Greek letters, and I'm just gonna put that on I'm gonna put that in my office, in my car, in my home, in my kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a cutting board with alpha pi because that distracts me from my terrible life.
Yeah, my existential crisis.
I hate myself. I can't believe I hazed young men in college and did terrible things. But if I wear the shirt with his little Kappa Kappa, whatever, Klappa, Flappa on it, monogrammed, it's all good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't go to university, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I've lived next to one for a while and have rubbed shoulders with these people at various places around. But,
yeah,
never lived. Well, actually, I did live in Glassboro for a little bit. Living in Pittman, you're next to the school, so you get some runoff, but most college kids don't wander over to Pittman. It's probably too old of a town for them.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Oh, right. I wanted to talk about the video game that I had in mind.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No.
I think we paused over that.
We went
going to go back to that.
I think we collectively went a bit crazy because we were so hyper fixated on getting good coffee making sound, and we did. But
we did. Yeah, it sounds great. I'm gonna have to normalize it, but it's gonna sound fantastic.
Yeah, like the video game idea that I had in mind was
sorry.
It was pretty much like the main character of the game is gonna be a grandma or like a mom.
Okay.
But she's like the most like athletic like agent in the world, but she's like really old.
She's like a basketball player grandma.
Yeah. So like it's an old lady, and one day she's working on her front lawn.
She has a cane, but it's one of those canes that's really a fake thing, and it's a sword inside of it.
Probably not that, but it's an old lady. She's working on her front lawn, working on flowers, and then all of a sudden, a car rolls by, and it's a really pretty looking young lady, and she's telling her grandson to come into the car, promising him a magical world. But what happens is the kid goes into the car, and when he goes to this magical world, it's actually an Amazon warehouse, and now he's a child slave.
Oh my
Jeff
God.
Bezos.
Oh my God.
And so the story is she needs to rescue her grandson, so she calls her
she goes Rambo.
She gets her son, who's like her friend or her like son, who's like 23, and he's just like if you've ever played the game God Hand, he's exactly like Gene, like
okay,
just like a total knucklehead. But like,
is he like a frat kid, like we were talking about?
No, he's just like just a crazy like dude. I don't know, but like I didn't really write it out. But like the story is you're this grandmom that ambushes this Amazon warehouse, and it's got a floor system. So you start on the ground floor.
Oh my God!
And you're
so great.
And you're shooting at Amazon warehouse associates that are also like zombies and possessed.
They're like Borg drone Amazon.
They're like legit like undead, and you have to go through all these Amazon warehouse associates. And there's a part where you have to hop on a forklift and like drive the thing and just shoot all these guys.
I love it.
And it just keeps getting stupider the more levels you go up.
Yeah, like the forklift could be your first vehicle, and then the crane could be your second vehicle, like an indoor crane to move stuff around. And then you could move, like maybe steal a truck or something to get out.
No, it's all scripted. It's like a rail shooter. So you're...
Yeah, no, I know it's supposed to be...
Yeah.
I'm just taking...
So like...
I'm putting my own stuff on your idea. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, you first start the game by breaking in through the TSA-like security guard entrance, and you start just like... You have a magical gun. I always thought it was funny how in like those shooter games, like you just have an infinite amount of like ammo clips just on you.
Yeah, you could just keep going.
I want the first cutscene in the game to be like this old lady just opening up her like chest, right? It's like, fancy meeting you again. And it's a magical gun that loads bullets magically into the gun, and she uses it and just like lights up people like consistently with it. And it's gonna have magic in it, and like just
all of the bullets are decorated. You know, she took nail polish and she decorated each and every bullet before she put it on the casing. So one has little flowers on it and one has little hearts on it.
I was thinking,
and it's like little grandma's last kiss.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking more so like the barrel or the ammo clip inside the gun has like portal technology in it. So when she shoots the guns in her, like all the bullets in the clip, there's someone remotely loading the clip using portal technology.
I like that.
Into that.
Very nice.
So she has to call her one like agent from a while ago and be like, you gotta turn the portal machine back on.
Just to keep a Bluetooth hands-free headset on while she's infiltrating the warehouse.
Yeah, so the guy that's like...
And that's your heads-up display.
Yeah.
There you go. Boom.
So the guy...
This game's coming together. It's gonna be gonna have a first draft by next week.
Yeah, the clip, all of her guns and weapons are given to her via a portal system that wasn't released to the public yet. Or I'm just gonna say it's just like straight magic. Like there's just a select few people that have these magical abilities.
It could just be grandma's magic bag.
I guess.
Right? Like you ever somewhere with your grandma and you need like I need a Band-Aid. Oh, got that in my bag. Here you go. I need chocolate frosting. Oh, grandma's got it in her bag, even though it's 85 degrees outside.
Oh,
how does
okay.
that work?
So,
so
like,
it's sort of like grandma's, it's like, how does she fit all that stuff in her bag?
Okay, so like...
But instead of that cute story, it's bullets.
Yeah, so like in her purse, right? The purse is, it's not just like a small purse. Like it's like a portal, and you can just stick your hand in it and take anything you want out of it. I guess that's cooler.
It's like Hermione's bag from Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah, but the premise of the story is you got to rescue your grandson back, and it's you and your
dog.
your son,
Or it's your son.
or dog. I had this idea of
You could have options for companions if you want to have a dog or maybe a goblin.
I wanted to do this thing where like in like stage 2 where like the grandma is like stuck in a corner and can't do anything. All of a sudden a pug flies through. Like you see his like front legs and his back legs like spread out, like jumping through in front of the sun. And then like when he lands, he like 180s and then has like a Glock in his like mouth.
Oh, I like that.
And he's biting it and it's shooting bullets at like all these guys. And it's not cool looking at all. He's just biting it like what a dog would do, but it's hitting every single bad guy.
I love it.
And yeah, so that's the game idea. You're a grandmom that needs to rescue her son from lax child. Like Amazon stole your grandson to be a child slave, and then you have to rescue him in this warehouse.
And you can keep going up and up and up and work your way up to the top.
Yeah, and the top, and each floor gets crazier and stupider. Like you'll have zombies, you'll
different
have
weapons, different enemies,
humans experimenting with biometric implants. You'll have robots,
robots,
and then you'll have demons. And then you'll have
that's up on the executive level.
And then you have like demons that are trying to get into like biometric implants and stuff like that. And then you just have like a straight demon that is a robot. Who's probably Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I was about to say at the top floor there's the Jeff bot. The Blue Origin Android.
He
machine.
uploaded his consciousness to a supercomputer, and then like
it's integrated into the entire building. It's 100 floors
and
tall.
the body he's operating is this super quick, like agile super being. That's like almost impossible to destroy. But then if you do, you can upload his consciousness to a USB stick and then image it on a Dell XP laptop that's like not even good and running Windows like 7. And then you just leave him into that like Windows 7 computer, like on
just leave him in there to suffer on Windows 7
in airplane mode for the rest of his life.
The Baze bot.
Yeah. And then you
have to. So in the end, Grandma may be not as strong as the Bezo bot.
No, but she has magic.
But she has magic?
Yeah.
She has a magical pouch bag.
Yes.
And she has the wisdom of a grandmother.
Yeah, and she was like a secret agent from like age 18 to like 60.
Mm-hmm. Back when Bezos was still a human.
Yeah. There's going to be a scene like where, in Taxi Driver where the guy's doing like pull-ups, push-ups.
I haven't seen Taxi Driver.
Fuck, okay, never mind. But, damn. But that's a game. It's a real shooter, and you're a grandma.
I've played the game Taxi.
Taxi?
Yeah, it's just called Taxi. That's an arcade game. But they also made a PlayStation 2 version.
You mean Crazy Taxi or
Crazy Taxi, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I thought it was just called Taxi for some reason.
that was for the Dreamcast? Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah.
That's a really good game.
That was one of my first games. Was that the PlayStation was really my first console, but the PlayStation 2 was the first one I really remember. So there's that Crazy Taxi game, the Bionicle game, Lego Star Wars Battlefront.
Battlefront was really good.
One of our old sponsors from last episode, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah. Man, those games are awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the premise of my game. You're a grandmom whose grandson got abducted by like Amazon to be a child slave, and you got to go rescue him.
Hey, I'd play it.
Yeah, that's not coming. That's not like a. I don't have any resentful feelings towards Amazon or anything, but like, well, actually, no, I do. But like,
I think the closer you could get
yeah,
to representing an Amazon warehouse without having any copyright issues, the funnier it will be.
yeah, that's
So the more obvious you can do, like maybe you have,
Samazon,
you know,
and his name is Sam Lazos.
you know how they have,
I gotta save my son from Samazon. It's gonna be like a high action game. Oh, the coolest action scene I've ever seen was in a movie, the Police Story one. Like if you see the movie Police Story with Jackie Chan in it, that's a really good like action movie.
I haven't seen Police Story.
Yeah, but I won't talk about it. But the coolest video game one I ever saw was this dude was jumping out of a helicopter that was on fire and about to explode, and then once he jumped out of the helicopter, he himself started to immolate and like have fire like generate on him while he's going to the ocean.
Wow.
And the lady that is on the cruiser or something, when she's fighting like a demon or something, I think it was like a ghost, he throws an ammo clip at her mid-air to her while on fire, and then she caught it with the gun and then just immediately snapped it into place and then just like took the bad guy out.
Man.
And then he just went into the water. But I think that was like the coolest like one I've seen on a video game. I think it's from Parasite Eve for the PS1.
Whoever thought that up probably wanted to film something like that for a long time. I want to throw a clip into a gun 50 feet away.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that's Hideo. I think that's like that Hideo Kojima didn't make that game, but the guy who made Metal Gear Solid wanted to make. He just happened to be working for Konami, and then he just made a game that was like a movie. And yeah.
What was the movie where the lady had a gun for a leg?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
I haven't seen this movie. I just know that it exists. I thought you might know. I don't know movies, by the way. I don't know. I haven't seen really any. So, in the grand scheme of things, I've seen some Mel Brooks films, and I've seen Dodgeball.
My film repertoire is
Not
Mel Gibson movies and the movie Dodgeball.
It's like Mel Brooks, but Mel Gibson too.
Sorry.
I did enjoy. I watched The Patriot around the election time, and that got me fucking hype.
I've been on a movie kick lately. I saw The Running Man featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger. You would like that movie.
I've seen some of Arnold's stuff. So I've seen Kindergarten Cop, the Terminator movies, Action Hero.
Yep.
Where the movie it bridges over to reality. A couple others.
He's made good movies.
Yeah. Movie Star, Governor, Muscle Man, Stogie Man.
Yeah.
Said like to smoke my stogie. I can't do impressions either. You've seen the stogie video though, right?
That was like an Italian German guy. I like to smoke my stogie.
Yeah, I can't do impressions. I can hardly do myself. I don't even know what impression that is.
I can hardly speak after that Dunkin' Donuts incident.
Yeah, that's tough. Let's podcast from inside that Dunkin' Donuts next time. And see how long it takes for them to ask us to leave.
No, I think Kyle's going to get a cup of hot coffee and throw it in my face.
There's no old people to protect you this time, buddy.
Yeah, Kyle and depressed 48-year-old lady that was like, dude, I walked up to that counter and she straight up spilled coffee and was like, fuck, like yelled. And then she was on the mic. She's like, no, sorry, I just dropped coffee on the floor. I thought it got on me. Like she yelled like fuck, and then like
you would know if you spilled coffee on you. Okay, it's hot.
Yeah. But she straight up spilled it, and then I went back to the.
Things are falling apart, folks.
Yeah. Man, that coffee is.
Cameron, tell me a theatrical story.
All right. There once was a man named Keenan walking away from Rivers Casino in Philadelphia. When we were leaving to go to the bar, instead of walking around the fence, he decided to jump over it. He jumped over it quite well. A young man named Drew jumped the fence after him. Keenan foolishly tried to catch him midair, but what ended up happening was he fell and hit his head on the concrete and left a huge lump on the back of his head. When he got back up, we said, "Hey, do you want to go to the hospital?" And he said, "No,